Hello, hello. How are you, ladies? How's it going? It's so good to see you. So good to be with you today. I'm not seeing anybody yet, but just getting my windows situated. How are you? I hope you're having a fabulous week so far. Here we are, the middle of the week. It's Wednesday, and I'm here with your Marketing Mini-Masterclass. And today I'm really excited to get to talk to you about building your client journey and why it's so important, and what makes up a client journey and how we do that. So um, I can't wait to dive in. But first, I want to just introduce myself in case we don't know each other. I am Melissa Kellogg Lewick, and I am a marketing coach and teacher for women entrepreneurs. And I absolutely love helping women that are starting, building, growing their business to really make marketing much simpler, easier, and really free you from the not enoughness that so many of us feel around marketing. And so that is really what I'm passionate about, to really help you create consistent clients and revenue in your business, and ultimately build freedom through entrepreneurship. So that's what I'm all about, and that's what I'm here for. And I do that through private coaching, and also some group experiences. In fact, I am hosting my annual, very popular goal setting and marketing planning event called Marketing Momentum 2026. And I'm so excited about it. That's coming up December 8th through the 10th. And so I'll put a link to that in the comments. And but first, what I really want to talk with you, I have my tag is bugging me here. What I really want to talk with you today, is building your client journey and why it's so important. And last week we talked about nurturing your audience and how that really happens, and the importance of that. And so part of that nurturing process is really having an intentional client journey that you lead people through. And so often what I see is, if women that I talk to, women that come to me and work with me as clients, they're often not bringing in the consistent flow of clients and revenue that they want. And they're not sure why. And so they think that it is because they're bad at marketing, they're not doing enough marketing, they're not doing the right marketing things, their strategy's off, they're not good enough at it, whatever comes up in that line of thinking, right? So how they'll often try to solve that problem is doing a lot of marketing actions, thinking they need to be doing more marketing, trying all kinds of new strategies that they think might be the one right thing that creates clients or unlocks that treasure trove of clients, right? And it doesn't work. And so that's why they come to me. And so it's not working. So what I find is it's not working because you're focused on marketing actions and think there's a magic strategy or a magic message that you have to land on. And that if you just get that right, then it will unlock the flow of clients and revenue into your business. And so what it has you doing is trying to get it right, trying to be perfect, right? And what is ultimately happening when you are trying to get it right, trying to find the exact right strategy, trying to be perfect at all of it, it ultimately creates disconnection from yourself and your zone of genius, the work that you love doing. And it also creates disconnection from your people, right? Because what we know is that perfection does not create connection. And so effective marketing is all about creating connection with your people, right? And so the alternative is really to slow down and remember what I always say, and my clients love it when I remind them of this, that all marketing works, right? And it works because of the energy and the connection that you bring to it. And you create that connection and that energy when you stop thinking so much about the strategy and start thinking about the person that you are best suited to serve, that you're best suited to help, that you know, and that you understand deeply what their problem is and how you can solve it, right? So when you start thinking instead about the journey that they take as they sell themselves on wanting to get to know you better and trust you, and the journey that they take as they are learning to trust themselves and step further into that trusting relationship with you and ultimately hire you and pay you, that's really where I want to encourage you to be spending your time and energy, not trying to get perfect at marketing, right? Because we're never going to get there. Not even me. Certainly not. I'm as human as anybody else, right? So this is why the client journey is so important. Thinking about the client journey. And the client journey, what I want to offer you today is both tangible and intangible. It happens in the tangible steps that your best fit clients or prospective future clients take to get to know you, and the inner steps that they take, the intangible steps that they take, how they change their thinking and their feeling all along the way as they're getting to know you, trust you, love you, and then ultimately work with you, right? So when you intentionally and thoughtfully create this journey and lead your people through it, your marketing and selling feels so much more natural and collaborative and so much less weird. Do you ever feel like you're trying to do marketing or selling and it just feels weird, right? Well, when you are really connected to yourself, connected to your message, connected to your people, it's going to feel so much less weird. So, and so taking the time to intentionally create and curate this client journey for your people works because it's creating intention and it's creating connection and your leadership all along the relationship building journey. And it allows your people to get to know you and love you and trust you at their pace. There's no hurrying them along, right? Or forcing. It creates safety for them by showing your leadership and that you have thoughtfully created this relationship journey. And it creates that feeling that they are on a path with you. And it's not forced, and it is nurturing and growing them and the relationship all along the way. So that's why it works. That's why it feels great for your people. It feels great for you. But so how do you do this, right? That's what I want to talk about next. And obviously this could be an entire large class, which as I'm creating this, writing this live for you today, I was thinking that I was like, wow, this would be a really cool class. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I'd be happy to create that for y'all. So what is necessary in order to create the client journey? So to do this, really what it takes is just spending some time examining all the ways that you we the what we talked about over the last couple of weeks, all the ways that you meet new people, all the ways that you nurture them currently. So taking those, this is the tangible aspect of it, taking those all those strategies you use in meeting new people. Let's start there. And what is the journey that you want to bring them through to nurture that relationship? So I'm going to give you some examples here in a minute, but I want to just kind of give you an overview. So for example, say you meet someone, well, I'll give an example of how I work this, my client journey. So say, for example, you meet someone at a networking function, right? So what are all the tangible steps that you're going to take them through as they get to know you, right? So maybe, well, so I'll use an example at a networking function. The first thing you want to do is make sure that when you are introducing yourself, if you get an opportunity to introduce in front of the group, or if you get even if you're just introducing yourself to people one by one, think about how you can introduce yourself that creates awareness, like really tangible awareness of the work that you do, the result that you offer. And that's going to create interest in your best fit client, right? So you have that introduction. It's powerful, it's compelling, and it's from your heart, right? You always want this to be from your heart, where you're speaking from your heart. It's not a canned, scripted thing. It really, you want to read the room, listen to what others are talking or saying, and what they kind of clues that they are giving you, and then respond to that, right? So so you have your introduction, you introduce yourself, and that creates some awareness, obviously, which is, so I'm talking about the tangible and the intangible parts of our client journey, right? And then for your best fit people, it's going to be interesting to them, right? And so if there's interest, you want to make sure that you are taking responsibility. You are taking responsibility for starting that relationship, right? For example, getting a business card from them, or creating a way to connect with them, whether it's on LinkedIn or whatever. And then, so if you're meeting people at a networking function, the step is, you're going to have a great introduction. And then if they're interested, you're going to exchange contact information. And then what's the next step in your client journey? Well, for me, the next step is within 24 to 48 hours, I'm sending an email, a personal email to them saying, hey, it was great to meet you at the such and such function, and I would really love to get to know you and your business better. And then I'll suggest next steps. Maybe it's a coffee chat, or so this is your client journey, right? Maybe it's a coffee chat. Maybe it's sending them a resource or inviting them to another event. So think about what are the ways, the next step there. So then say it's a coffee chat. We schedule the coffee chat. We get together for the coffee chat. So that is the next step in the client journey, right? So then in the coffee chat, we get to know each other better. I have a specific structure that when I have a connection, either whether it's an in-person meeting or a Zoom call, I have a specific structure that I go through on those conversations, where I'm creating, some common ground. I'm getting to know them, their business, what kind of challenges they're facing, and then how can I best support them, right? And then we talk about next steps. And so having a structure. And when you do that, you show your leadership, you show intention, you show care and honor for the relationship, right? I always think about this like I'm honoring them. I'm honoring their time. I'm honoring them by letting them know that this is important, that they are important to me, and that I want to really get a lot of value out of this time together and give them a lot of value, right? And so I have a structure created for that. So then as at the coffee chat, then at the end of that, then we decide what are our next steps, right? Maybe it is they come to an event of mine. Of course, I'm going to invite them to an event that would be pertinent to them, or I connect them with someone that would be a great connection for them, or whatever. You can leave it dynamic, but just make sure that you're always thinking, what is the next step in this relationship, right? And the next step, it could be, oh, well, we have not much in common, and I really didn't enjoy talking to this person. I don't really want them in my world or want to be in their world. And it could be the end of it. But this is how you start, build, and grow relationships. And so relationships always come before revenue. And so I want you to have a specific journey that you take people on when they interact with you and interact with your marketing. And so another example is, say, for example, someone listens to your podcast. So you have a specific journey that they take as a result of that you have, a call to action in your outro. Or let's see, what's another example? Say, for example, someone interacts with a reel that you post on social media. So you always want to make sure to be offering the next step for them to go in getting to know you better, right? And so you want to think about and take time to really consider what is the next best step for them. Okay. And this is what I love doing with my clients. So if this is something you would like support on, I would love to support you in this. And I'm happy to talk with you about that. I'm going to put a link in the chat, and you can schedule a call. And we can talk about this and talk through what your specific client journey can look like. Because when you do this work and have this, it really creates safety for your people. They really feel like you want them in your world and you want to nurture that relationship, that they are important to you. And it really does create that flow of consistent clients and opportunities coming into your business, right? It will create a whole audience, a whole community around you of deep and loyal relationships. So because whatever we focus on expands, right? So if we're focusing on creating relationships, then they're going to expand. We're going to create really great foundation and structure and strength in our business based on these relationships. So one other quick example. So say someone interacts with your reel and watches your reel, takes in your reel, whatever, and they're brand new to your world. You want to think about what is their next best step with you, right? So most often, in very rare instances, they'll be ready to buy right from that. But in most instances, they're going to be ready to get to know you better, right? So always have in your caption or in what you're saying on the reel, a way for them to get to know you better. So maybe it's, come and listen to my podcast, or I'm hosting a free class, or whatever might be the next best step for them. And remember, so that's like the tangible step in the client journey. And then there's the intangible steps. You always want to be creating awareness. You'll start out with creating awareness. Then they're aware of you, and then they're going to create interest, right? And then from that interest is the desire to go to the next step with you. And then you want to make sure you're giving them the action to take, right? Come listen to my podcast, or come join me in my free masterclass, or come to my live event happening next week, or whatever it is. You want to offer the tangible and also the intangible. Think about the intangible journey that they're going on inside, and speak to that as well. So, so there's some examples for you. Let's see, I'm just looking at my notes here. And so think about just keeping it simple, right? You always want to offer, when you're offering and inviting them to that next step, you want to keep it simple and offer one invitation. You're not going to invite them to listen to your podcast, come to your event, buy your thing, right? It's too many things. And we know that the confused mind always says no. And so when you have too many things and it's confusing, they're just going to keep going. They're going to move on. They're going to say no. So keep it simple. And once you learn how to do this organically, with, when your business is small, when you're just starting out, when you're bringing in your first, group of clients, when you learn how to do this organically, then any paid advertising or paid funnels, things that you do that are much more complex in the future, you'll be able to create, and much easier and much more effectively by what you learn in creating your early client journeys, because the client journey is going to be similar all along the way, right? And so once you get really good at this, doing this organically, it makes the paid versions of it later on much easier to create and much more successful for you. Because remember, it's not about the strategy. It's not about the marketing action. It's about the connection. It's about the energy that you are transferring within the actual marketing action. So, and so when you really nail this, and it does take some experimentation, and that's totally fine. Like, that is the way it works. Entrepreneurship is all about experimentation. So experiment with different client journeys, different steps that you bring people along. And when you keep it simple, it allows you to be able to evaluate effectively, right? Because you can see where people are getting stuck and not moving along in the relationship with you. And so that's another really great use of coaching with me, is I can help you troubleshoot. So if you have a client journey and you need to troubleshoot what's not working, we can do that together. And I can really show you, talk you through how to evaluate that, and how to find out where people are getting stuck, why they're getting stuck, and what we need to do in order to address that and get it flowing smoother. So doing this work is so powerful, because it really does help you to create that consistent flow of clients and revenue into your business. And so if you want this kind of effective, strong, successful client journey, I would love to do this work with you. I really love helping my clients to create intentional and thoughtful client journeys that create connection with their people, and help create clients in a way that is collaborative and really strengthens the relationship. So if that's some work that you would love to do, I would love to help you out with that. Let me put a link in the chat, and that is the training that I wanted to deliver to you today. And I hope this is helpful. Let me see here. I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to put it here. And I thank you so much for being here. It's great to see you this morning. And if you're watching on replay, hashtag replay, if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to put those in the chat. And even if you're watching on replay, of course, I will get the comments and the questions, and I would be happy to answer those for you. And I really encourage you to consider the importance of having an intentional and thoughtful client journey that creates connection for you with your future clients. And it makes marketing and selling so much more fun. And really, I would love to do this work with you. And so feel free to reach out. And that's all I have for you today, my friends. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your Wednesday, rest of your week. And I will see you next Wednesday and for another installment of our Marketing Mini Masterclass. But until then, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.